This is our chapter 15, that is some natural phenomena, and this is part 1 of this chapter. In the previous classes, you have already learned about winds, storms, and cyclones. And also, you have learned that cyclones can cause a lot of damage to human life and property. And also, you also learned some methods or preventive measures to protect ourselves from this destructive natural phenomena. And in this chapter, we are going to discuss two other destructive natural phenomena like lightning and earthquakes. In this chapter, we will also study about steps that we can take to minimize destruction caused by these phenomena. Now we will learn more about lightning. You might have seen sparks on an electric pole when wires become loose. This is quite common when wind is blowing and shaking the wires. And also you might have seen that the sparks are coming when a plug is loose in its socket. And this lightning, what we are going to study, this lightning is also an electric spark, but it is on a huge scale. The ancient Greeks knew as early as 600 BC that when amber is a kind of resin, and when this is rubbed with fur, it attracted light objects such as hair. And similarly, when a plastic comb is rubbed with hair, and it is when it is placed near pieces of paper, small pieces of paper, you can see that it get attracted towards the comb. In 1752, Benjamin Franklin, he was an American scientist, he showed that the above explained phenomena and lightning are the same. We shall now study some properties of electric charges. We shall also see how they are related to the lightning in the sky. Before that, we are going to perform some activities to understand the nature of electric charges. Here is the activity. Take a used ball pen refill and rub it vigorously with a piece of polythene. Bring it close to small pieces of paper. Take care that you are not going to touch the rubber end of the refill with your hand or with a metallic object. Repeat the activity with the small pieces of dry leaf, husk, mustard seeds, and you are going to record your observations. When a plastic refill is rubbed with polythene, it acquires a small electric charge. Similarly, when a plastic comb is rubbed with the dry hair, it acquires a small charge. These objects are called charged objects. In the process of charging, the refill and the plastic comb, polythene and hair also get charged. Next is also an activity to know the types of charges and how they interact with each other. For that, we will do another activity, that is, we are going to inflate two balloons and we are going to hang them. We are going to hang them in such a way that they do not touch each other. Rub both the balloons with a woolen cloth and release them. You are going to observe what is happening. Now let us repeat this activity with the used pen refills. Rub one refill with the polythene. Place it carefully in a glass tumbler using the tumbler as a stand. And rub the other refill also with the polythene. Bring it close to the charged refill. Be careful not to touch the charged end with your hand. Can you notice any effect on the refill in the tumbler? Do the two attract each other or repel each other? In this activity, we have brought close together the charged objects that were made of the same material. What happens if two charged objects made of different materials are brought close to each other? We are going to find it out. Now, rub a refill and place it gently in a glass tumbler as before. Bring an inflated charged balloon near the refill and now observe what happens. This is the summary of the observations, that is, a charged balloon repelled a charged balloon, right? And a charged refill repelled a charged refill, but a charged balloon attracted a charged refill. This indicates that the charge on both the balloon is different kind from the charge on the refill, and these charges of same kind repel each other and of different kind attract each other. It is a convention to call the charge acquired by a glass rod when it is rubbed with silk as positive, and the other kind of charge is said to be negative. And when a charged glass rod is brought near a charged plastic straw rubbed with polythene, there is attraction between the two. Here the plastic straw would carry a negative charge. The electrical charges generated by rubbing are static. They do not move. Static means they do not move. When charges move, they constitute an electric current. That is, the movement of charges brings a electric current. This electric current in a circuit makes a bulb glow, that you all know, or the current that makes a wire hot is the motion of charges. Now we are going to do another activity to know what is happening or how the charge get transferred. Now this is the activity. Take an empty jam bottle. Take a piece of cardboard slightly bigger in size than the mouth of the bottle. Pierce a hole in it so that a metal paper clip can be inserted. Open out the paper clip as you can see in the figure. Cut 2 strips of aluminum foil. Hang them on the paper clip as shown in the figure. Insert the paper clip in the cardboard lid so that it is perpendicular to it. Charge a refill and touch it with the end of the paper clip. Observe what happens. Is there any effect on the foil strips, or do they repel each other or attract each other? Now touch other charged bodies with the end of the paper clip. Can you observe any changes? Do the foil strips behave in the same way in all cases? Can this apparatus be used to detect whether a body is charged or not? And we are going to explain it. The aluminum foil strips receive the same charge from the charger refill through the paper clip. The strips carrying similar charges repel each other and they become wide. And how the aluminum foil strips receive the same charge from the charger refill? Because they are connected with a metal, and we know that metals are good conductors of electricity. Such device can be used to test whether an object is carrying charge or not. This device is known as electroscope. Now we are going to study what is earthing. In this activity, we found that electrical charge can be transferred from a charged object to another through a metal conductor. Now we are going to touch the end of the paper clip gently with hand, and you will find a change in the foil strips. That is, they will come back to their original state. Repeat this charging of foil strips and then you are going to touch the paper clip. Repeat this process. Every time you will find that the foil strips collapse as soon as you touch the paper clip with the hand. Why does it happen? The reason is that the foil strips lose energy, charge to the earth through your body. We say that the foil strips are discharged. That is, once again, the foil strips, when you touch the foil strips, loses charge to the earth through your body, and we say that the foil strips are discharged. The process of transferring of charge from a charged object to the earth is called earthing. That is, once again, the process of transferring of charge from a charged body or a charged object to the earth is called earthing. Now we will learn how the lightning happens. During the development of a thunderstorm, the air currents move upward while the water droplets move downward. These vigorous movements cause separation of charges, and the separated charges collected, the positive charges will be collected near the upper edges of the clouds, and the negative charges accumulate near the lower edges, and there will be also an accumulation of positive charges near the ground also. When the magnitude of the accumulated charges become very large, we know that air is a poor conductor of electricity, and this air is no longer able to resist their flow. So the negative and positive charges meet, and when they meet, they produce streaks of bright light and sound. These streaks are seen as lightning. That is, when the magnitude of the accumulated charges, we know that the charges get accumulated, and the magnitude, when this magnitude of accumulated charges become very large, the air cannot resist their flow. So, these negative and positive charges meet, producing streaks of bright light and sound, and we see this lightning as the streaks are, we see this streaks as lightning, and the process of is called an electric discharge. The process of electric discharge can occur between the two or more clouds or between clouds and the earth. Now we can look what are the safety measures we have to take when there is lightning and thunderstorm. We know that open places are not safe when there is lightning and thunderstorm. And if you hear the thunder, the sound of the thunder, it is an alert to rush to a safer place. A house or a building is a safe place, and if you are traveling by a car or by bus, you are safe inside with windows and doors of the vehicles are shut. And open vehicles like motorbikes, tractors, construction machinery, open cars are not at all safe. And also, if you are in the open fields or tall trees, shelters in parks, elevated places do not protect us from lightning strokes. So don't select these places as a safe place during thunderstorm. And if you are carrying an umbrella, it is not good idea during thunderstorms. And if you are in a forest, take shelter under shorter trees. If no shelter is available and you are in an open field, stay far away from all the trees. That is a good idea in this case. And stay away from poles or other metal objects when there is thunderstorm or lightning. And do not lie on the ground. In that case, you can place your hands on your knees with your head between the hands, and this will make you the smallest target to be struck. And this is the safe position during lightning. And lightning can strike the telephone cords, electrical wires and metal pipes. During thunderstorm, contact with these should be avoided, and bathing should be avoided during thunderstorms to avoid contact with the running water. And all the electrical appliances like computers, TVs, etc. should be unplugged, and electrical lights can remain on because they do not cause any harm. And now we will study what is lightning conductors. Lightning conductor is a device used to protect buildings from the effect of lightning. Here a metallic rod taller than the building is installed in the walls of the building during its construction. Here one end of the rod is kept out in the air and the other is buried deep in the ground. The rod provides easy route for the transfer of electric charge to the ground. That is, we know that metal is a good conductor of electric charge. The metal columns used during construction Electrical wires and water pipes in the buildings also protect us to an extent, but do not touch them during a thunderstorm.